So, what's next on the agenda?
Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails for Daybreak 2. And we still are watching through our bonding or connection events. Where were we? We have missing, I think, these 3, right? No, 4 is it even, right? Good. Then the Substitutes Challenge. He then reached out to Swin and Nadia, who had asked him to meet at the Arkwright Solutions office. Well met, Van Arkwright, Spriggan Extraordinaire. To commemorate our final days in thy glorious capital, we do hereby challenge thee to a duel over the title of True Spriggan. Translation, please. Actually, she pretty much covered it. Come on, play along. This could be our last chance. Here we go. Alright. So explain this duel over the title of True Spriggan business. Well, that part was just for being dramatic. Remember when you made us substitute Spriggans right after we came to Edith? It's been a wild ride since then, and I mean wild. Now here we are with everything we asked for and more. We don't want to set a bad example for Lapis and our boss by taking advantage of your hospitality, though. So we felt the need to prove ourselves, and who better to do it against than you, Van. Spriggan stuff's pretty close to our usual work already, so a Force PG showdown sounded like a good way to settle things. And if we should vanquish thee, perchance we could lay claim to my reputation as well? Don't push your luck, but I get where you're coming from. You do deserve a little more something for picking up the slack around here. I just treat it like a special Force PG for my stand-ins. Just don't cry foul when I go full throttle. No better parting gift than showing you what a Spriggan's really made of. We couldn't ask for more. Now you're talking. From there, Van used his connection to get in touch with any collaborators of his who had time to spare. They then put together a limited time, half-price discount promotion to bring in more Force PGs than ever before. The backs of bulletin boards in every district order of requests from corner to corner by now. Whoever closes out the most of them within the time limit is a winner. You guys all set to go? Ready when you are. Really casting a wide net though, huh? I know this was our suggestion, but we're in for a lot more Force PGs than we bargained for. You say that, but I had to trim the list quite a bit to get it down to just the suitable ones. I was already looking for a good excuse to get the finickier ones over with, so this worked out great. Yeah, imagine what a basket would be to get an emergency call in the middle of tonight's live performance. Well, alright. I hope you don't mind if we bring the heat up then. You're on. No backing out now. Let the Force PG showdown commence. And so Van, Swin and Nadia's duel began. He's coming your ways. Watch that. There, you're gonna be just fine. Oh yeah, let's score one for the dream team. Goodness, that was an impressive display. My sweet little Anna, thank you ever so much for catching her. About that, are you really this cat's owner? You are a few syllables off from a name on your collar just now. And rumor has it that a shady catnap has been snatching up purebreds to put on the market. That's, Oh, Angela, thank goodness you're alright. So now the mansion I'm employed at has a massive rat infestation. It's all my fault. If I don't do something about it, they'll fire me for sure. Can I count on you to handle this discreetly? Samantha was right. The two of them are like a match made in heaven. Mind hanging around just a tick? The solution to a problem should be along in just a minute. Excuse me, but are you Springer I keep hearing about? Could really use your expertise. All of the laboratory rats at the medical research facility I work for were inadvertently terminated. Is there any chance you could set us up with a large quantity of them in short order? Did you say rats? That's 2 for 1. Getting a mountain of requests has its perks sometimes. MS? You think those cars have anything to do with that package we picked up a minute ago? Shoot, we're being tailed. I'll check them off. Hang on tight, Nadia. Aye, aye. Excuse to hack him. Somebody save me. Pipe down ain't looking to start anything. At least not if you clean out the blackmail data and hand it over. You had a good run up until now. Coasting on the backs of others. I'd say it's about time for a Piper to get paid. Alright, just take it. That settles that. Now on to a separate request. This one involves getting tit for tat over the living hell you put your victims through. No, please. Waiting around here to ambush that crooked businessman isn't going as well as I hoped. Maybe he caught on and switched routes. I can recalculate his path, but we're kinda short on time. What's this? Don't tell me we're all working the same request. Oh, hi Van. Guess we overlapped on this one? Well, ain't better kick in the head. You two already got the jump on me. Not even the golden tip of the Modi head can make up for that. I'll just have to shift over to something else. Oh well, keep up a good work out there. But Modi, that's his informant over in Riverside. Might as well over and take a freebie. Soon afterwards, the alarm on everyone's ciphers went off, signaling that the time limit for a showdown was up. They then returned to the office to report their respective results. So the final tally is 11 for Spriggans for me and 12 for you. The victor's yours. Damn, some professional I am. What's wrong? Those don't look like the faces of winners to me. It's because this whole thing was rigged. I'm with her on that. But informant you clued us in on was the only reason we were able to close that last request. Can't really say that point was unfair and square. Hey, I'm the one who slipped up giving you a hint. Should be proud of not letting it pass you by. From where I'm standing, who solved what doesn't really matter, as long as you stuck to the Spriggan way. Matter of fact, you did me a solid divvying up the workload, so thanks for that. He got us hook, line and sinker. Yeah, we may have won the battle, but we lost the war the second we suggested dueling over 4 SPGs. You outfoxed us good, Van. You guys get so uptight over the weirdest things. Well, for all the areas we fall short in, we still managed to prove ourselves pretty decently. Yep, I'd say so. Actually never fully explained what it is you were trying to prove. Mind filling me in? Like we said, these last several months has been just one freak incident after another. Running into old colleagues from the gardens on Nemeth, seeing what looked like my brother back from the dead, and even that's got nothing on what went down with LP and S. Everything worked out in the end, but it left us with some heavy questions to chew on. We started to wonder, would we ever escape our past, or were we doomed to spend the rest of our days in darkness? I see. That's what all of this boils down to. We wanted to prove that if we worked hard enough, we could enjoy our lives in a way that sat right with us. Just like you do, Van. Like me. Not that most people would call your way of life a respectable one. Don't I know it? I hear Elaine offered you two a place at the guild, though. Why not take her up on it? And work myself into the ground all year round? I've got a lazing and loafing quota to keep. Call me crazy, but I don't think her line of work is in our wheelhouse anyway. But aside, there was one other thing we wanted to prove. To yourselves? No, to you, Van. We wanted to show how much we've grown over these past 2 years. You had to help us out with just about everything back then. But now other people can lean on us for a change, don't you think? Yeah, you two have come leaps and bounds. No doubt about it. Even if your past tries to haunt you again, I know you put it back in its place as many times as it takes. You've got the freedom to make whatever you want of your lives. This Old Town Spring will vouch for that any day of the week. I know we're not leaving just yet, but I can tell we won't be leaving any regrets behind. And the next time we meet up, we're gonna be twice now. Thrice as impressive we are now. Yeah, I can hardly wait already.
We might be hanging up our substitute Spriggan hats, but we'll never, ever forget the time we spent with you, Aggie, and everyone else.
I can't promise we'll always be available, but if you're ever in a bind, hit us up. Next time, we'll be the ones handling a 4SPG of yours.
So, what's next on the agenda?
Vaughn parted ways with his companion for a short while. He then met up with Elaine, and the two went to speak with a prospective client. Apologies for the delay, I'm with the Bracer Guild. Ah yes, we've been expecting you. Aren't you that famous A-Rank Bracer? Thank you so much for accepting our request on such short notice. Oh, you brought Vaughn along as well? Fancy seeing you again. For record, I'm mostly just along for the ride. You know him? Yeah, I met him while doing a 4SPG a while back. You still keeping in touch with old Bruno? Yes, I consulted him about all this, in fact. Anyway, I feel much better knowing that you're on the case. Let's get down to business, shall we? So, you suspect a stalker will crash your wedding day and attack the bride? Do I have that right? You do, yes. Honestly, we're at a loss of what to do. It all began when Dorothea was kind enough to take care of a man who was passed out along the side of the road. She was already engaged at that point, but that didn't stop the man from obsessing over her after the fact. She reached out to the police and the guild several times, but they couldn't do much, as he was careful to maintain within the confines of the law. Then once the wedding date was set, she received an unusual package. Inside was a clandestine photo of her and the groom. The faces were cut out and the message was written in blood. Love never dies. The wedding date was listed as well, even though it had only just been decided on. How despicable, only a vile fiend would seek to ruin such an important day in a young couple's life. That's a textbook example of a threat letter. Should be enough cause for a guild to take action. Problem is, if we're following the Bracer Code, I'm afraid I have no choice but to ask that you delay your wedding. When danger is imminent, we have to put the safety of the citizens above all else. I hope you understand. I was afraid of that. I'm so sorry, Dorothea. No, don't be. It's for the best. We can't risk putting our friends and family in harm's way. I just wish we could have celebrated this with them. Everyone was able to take time out of their busy schedules for this. Alright, I think this request can qualify as a 4SPG now. Oh? Aqua Solutions will be working with the guild on this one. No need to move a wedding date, cause I've got an idea. But how would... No. I pay any price you ask, as long as it means we can have our wedding as planned. To pull this off, I'm gonna need the assistance of our very own Beauty's Blade. Say no more, I'll do whatever I can to help. After that, I enlisted the aid of a cathedral staff and swiftly put Vaughn's plan into place. And so the wedding began on schedule. Dearly beloved, we gathered here today before the goddess Adios to join Roderick and Dorothea, the bonds of holy matrimony. Do you, Roderick, take this woman Dorothea, to have and to hold in sickness and health, for rich or poor, to love and to cherish, for as long as you both shall live? I do. And do you, Dorothea, take this man Roderick in sickness and health, for rich and poor, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live? Stop! Who do you think you are? You have no right to be barging in on this sacred union. She must be that low-life bastard they told me about. Why, Dorothea, why'd you marry the likes of him? I'm the one you love. That's why you saved me back then, right? Get a grip, man. That's just some fantasy you dreamed up on your own. I would never give up a woman I love, and especially not to someone who only burdened with a one-sided obsession. What the hell did you just say? Who do you think you are, you piece of shit? Get lost, you have nothing to do with this. Dorothea, my love, it's time to go. To the goddess aside, where our love will never die. Huh? I must say, I find your unrequited love rather shallow. Couldn't even tell that your beloved was an imposter. But you're... That's the A-rank bracer. Beauty's blade, why is she here? But why? Where's my Dorothea? Uh-huh. Oh, Hadwick. Oh, Dorothea. Everything's going to be alright now. So, what y'all think of our mid-wedding halftime show? A little unprecedented, I know, but hey, there's a first for everything. Our special guest Elaine or Claire gave a performance of the ages, all to test the love of our leading lady and man. Let's give our groom a big round of applause for bravely fending off his girl's would-be captor. Holy camole, I had no idea they switched out the bride. Okay, that was a little too realistic for my taste, but man, what a show. That dance spriggan really knows how to throw everyone for a loop. I sincerely apologize for causing such a ruckus. We will get the ceremony back underway in a moment. Let me offer my congratulations to the soon-to-be happy newlyweds. Afterwards, they quietly turned the stalker over to the police. The wedding went on from there without any further disruptions. Elaine, Van, thank you so much for saving our wedding. Well, that was a neat and tidy ending. I'm glad we were able to help them. Can't believe I was able to pull one over on the crowd with a halftime show bit. That was a hell of a gamble. If Roderick hadn't done that whole spiel from the heart, I doubt anyone would have bought it. Hey, got a question for you. Why have a special interest in this request? Something about this job must have caught your eye. Don't think you would have wanted to leave in the middle of a festival otherwise. I suppose that's true. Well, to answer your question, the subject of marriage has so happened to be on my mind lately. Seeing as how my family, over my relatives, have been trying to get me to tie a wedding knot, I've received a few proposals already. I knew the Quincy company had been hard at work rebuilding the business, but this is the first I'm hearing of this. As you may well know, our family has a long lineage and many of my relatives are the old-fashioned sort. They say it's all to support the Claire family. I suppose it sounds noble when put like that. No likelihood they're simply desperate to find their footing. Things have been rather chaotic following my father's incarceration. In a way, I almost pity them, and to be honest, that's why I have entertained the notion. Well, I don't think you should. I know you're just trying to bear the burden for everyone like usual, but that ain't your responsibility, alright? Your dad's the one who committed a crime, not you. It isn't your job to mop up his mess. You can't fix everything. If you say you can, then that's arrogance talking, plain and simple. But, you know, that might just be the most hypocritical thing you've ever said. I'm just speaking from experience, that's all. From one burden-bearing person to another, don't forget why you chose the path you're on. You didn't choose it for your family's sake, and you sure as hell didn't choose it for mine either. You're right. No, in fact, you're exactly right. Oh, and don't worry about those marriage proposals. I turned them all down. Who said I was worried? By the way, you might not want to put this off for too much longer. They're both getting up there in age. Excuse me, have you know I'm only 24? Okay, here I go. The next bride? Oh, Elaine caught it. Congrats! I wonder if this is my reward for all the hard work I've put in lately. A certain someone I know could, and should, learn from my example. Hit me where it hurts, why don't you? Fine, I'll try and take a few pointers. After that, Van and Elaine left the cathedral behind. And after tying up all the loose ends of the stalker case, they met back up with the rest of her friends.
Back when we were students, I always thought this day might come for us. Huh? Oh, it's nothing, just lost in thought. We're both still walking our own paths, so let's focus on that for now. I'll be happy to help you along in whatever little ways I can.
So, what's next on the agenda?
So... Trying to bail, eh, Renne? Well, isn't this a familiar scene? Reminds me of our days in school. But as I recall it, you would always land in trouble with Mr. Powell for cutting classes. And you always played things by the book, on the surface anyway. Long as the student council work was neat as a pin, you could slack off with no one the wiser. Naturally, moderation discretions are key when it comes to flouting the rules. Well, I'm waiting for an explanation of why Mr. Ex-Student Council Press is skipping out on his alma mater school festival. Play your cards wrong and I just might tag along. Ever the busybody, aren't we? Still, perhaps this is for the better. Come with me, I'll give you a ride. A top-of-the-line Edwards sports car? When the hell did you snag this beaut? This on the more modest end, really. Now go on, take a seat. I'm gonna see how comfy this thing is, no matter how much it kills me inside. So this is a place? Guess I should have seen this coming. What? Is some artist you like putting on a show? Oh, I'm not in the audience today. My musical peers and I had promised to meet here. We'd booked a short window of time for an impromptu session, you see. That's so. Yes, but as luck would have it, all of them are now otherwise engaged. This happens from time to time, so I intended to drop by and cancel our reservation. But that was before I had you accompanying me. Do you still remember how to play the guitar? Last time I did was back at Aramis, and even then I was only plucked around a bit while helping out with club stuff. No way I'll be anywhere near as good as the rest of your circle. Oh, I don't expect you to be. Come along. If you insist. Van bought an instrument from the concert hall. He and Kincaid then decided to jam out on an empty audience for a bit. Damn, we got a pro here. Never let yourself get rusty, huh, Renne? And you're keeping up well for being so out of practice. Maybe we could even include you in one of our concerts. Hold up, you actually played for a crowd before? Don't get distracted, we're moving straight into the next song. Got it. So, you met some other musicians on the OrbitNet? Yes, we started out by meeting up offline to share in our mutual love of music. Our group gets along famously despite coming from different walks of life and spanning a wide range of ages. Each of us does what we can to carve out a little space in our busy lives to gather, chat and play whatever comes to mind. It makes for a nice occasional reprieve. So you get to just do your thing, no strings attached? That sounds right up my alley. Can't say I ever pictured you getting yourself into a friend group like that though. I guess even after all these years, there's still a lot I don't know about you. Is it really so strange? I like to think that I make a strong effort to maintain my social life. Besides, one should never judge a book by its cover. You, Elaine and myself all have sides to ourselves that we keep from one another. It was true then and it is now. Well, yeah, I ain't trying to say otherwise. But even apart from that, for whatever reason, I've always had a hard time imagining what you're like outside of work. As if you always got this wall around you, Renne. That's the best way I can put it. The girl I've been seeing told me the same thing recently. Just another occupational hazard, I suppose. You haven't gotten on my case for not calling you Kincaid even once today. That ain't the only way you haven't been yourself either. Take your reservation for this place. Normally you'd just cancel and go about your business. What, did something happen between you and your lady? Wait, seriously? I was half joking there. I never had much opportunity to see her this year. Tight schedules are a given considering my role as presidential aide, but that isn't much of an excuse. She said she could never tell what was going through my head. That's rough. Let me guess, she was supposed to come to your jam session today? Yes, I had planned to introduce her to my fellow musicians. The sense of fact that they have other commitments is a blessing in disguise. Our split was mutual, if that's any consolation. Many relationships just aren't meant to last. That said, I almost wish she had slapped me even once. Why is it silent all of a sudden? Did my point about ill-fated relationships hit a little too close to home? Jackass, don't try to play it off by dissing me. Anyway, break's over. Let's bring this house down. How about we do something that goes extra hard next? Like the punk rock stuff we used to try back in the high school. You mean the song we're considering for the festival? Doesn't exactly feel appropriate at our current age. Since when? A few birthdays ain't gonna change who you are inside. Or are you scared my guitar's gonna upstage your bass? My brush strumming technique was pretty sick. I never called it a bad idea. Count me in. And so the two of them resumed their jam session. The music, however, was much more intense than what they had played before the break. Despite the occasional bungled phrase, they continued playing to their heart's content. Oof, might have gone a bit overboard there. My fingers are starting to feel like shredded meat. So quick to complain. You could learn a thing or two from my groupmates. We have a member with more zeal and advanced age than most youths, another in a managerial position at a major corporation and so forth. Pretty impressive. Almost makes it sound like you're networking on the side. I haven't a clue what you mean. Nevertheless, my spirits do feel lighter now. Glad to hear it. You ever wanna jam again? Just say the word and I'll be there. I know venting ain't really your thing, but I don't mind lending an ear when you need it. It doesn't matter if you're the oldest in our group. Don't forget you got people in your corner, me and Elaine included. Besides, knowing you, it won't be long before you meet a new catch. But hey, if you need help fishing around, I'm only 4 SPG away. Something funny about that? No, I was laughing at my own immaturity. Especially if my dishonorary little brother is trying to console me. Never thought I'd see the day. You truly have grown, Van. There you go, treating me like a little kid again. But hey, if you do meet someone new, maybe introduce her to us this time, alright, Renne? That's Kincaid to you. And how are you and Elaine faring, unless you've been making progress with a certain young lady in your employ? Well, I have. Why you always gotta turn things around on me? And so the pair left the concert hall. They then rode back in Kincaid's car to reunite with their companions, breaking all the way as old friends often do.
Now you're the one comforting me. Ooh, the script has been flipped. I suppose that's proof of how much you've grown. Anyhow, we should do this again sometime. We can even drag Elaine along.
Okay.
So, what's next on the agenda?
Okay, this meeting place just past here. Got no clue what to expect from this. Hey, what's up, Van? Wow, you actually showed. Why do you sound so surprised? I ain't the type to accept an invite and then be a no-show. So, you seemed a little spaced out for a minute. Something on your mind? Not really. I was just watching you do your thing. Seeing you form with that sword against all those white petals is pretty mesmerizing, I admit. Whoa, it's not often I get a compliment from you of all people. I just call them like I see them. Anyway, those are called Lino flowers, right? I hear they bloom in the Empire too. Yep, they're indigenous to the east, but they were taken abroad back in the Middle Ages. I heard there was some growing around here, so I decided to stop by. Seeing them full bloom is a sight you don't want to miss. You ain't wrong there. This sure is a sight for sore eyes. Definitely isn't a bad place to kick back and pop open some cold ones. That's actually what's often done at flower viewing parties in the east. It's easy to get swept up in the atmosphere with all the nature around. So, wanna fight? No. What? Boo. So, wanna fight to the death? Let me think. No. Damn it, I freaking knew this was the reason you called me out here. Why do you want to fight me so bad anyway? What makes you think I'd be a match against the Divine Blade? Oh, I don't think that at all. You'd be lucky to last 5 seconds against me as you are now. But it's a dark blue Grendel. Now that's another story entirely. Okay, I think I see what's going on. Our fight against the Crimson Grendel must have lit a fire in you, am I wrong? Nope, you hit the nail on the head. From the moment I laid eyes on it, I was itching to pull out my sword and go to town. And just when I thought my chance had arrived, boom, gone in a flash. I can't contain myself any longer. Guess that means running for the hills is off the table. Not like I could let you go back to Armas in that state anyway. I'm glad you're so quick to understand now. Let's hurry up and get started. Sorry, but that ain't an option either. I can't go Grendel when my hollow mare isn't around. And she has been sleeping like a baby ever since the Genesis stopped functioning. Oh well, that sucks. What am I supposed to do now? I'm completely overstimulated and don't have an opponent who can bear the brunt of my attacks. Don't hit the panic button just yet, I have an idea. Just need a quick change of venue. The Märchengarten? The Märchengarten? A battlefield with Lino flowers and a full moon. Couldn't ask for a more perfect backdrop for a duel. The Chroma must have used the area we were in, along with your fighting spirit as data. Anyhow, I think this should work. Oh. Keep in mind, I think this is just a digital recreation. I've been through the transformation enough times now that I can tell the difference. You only just freed this place from the Garden Master, so this is kind of like exploiting a bug while things are still destabilized. I don't care about any of that. The Enders now know that I can have some fun. Fair warning, I also get pretty damn fired up when I'm in this form. I won't be able to pump the brakes now that the engine's going. You poke the bear, so get ready for a beatdown. Oh, I'm more than ready for that. Bring it on! Taking the initiative was definitely the right call, but I think you are just a little too hasty. You need to give yourself enough room to predict how your opponent might counteract. Shit, even with all the overpowered freaks I've fought with the Grendel up to now, she's a more beat. The power of a Divine Blade is freaking unreal. And now you're letting your mind wander too much. A moment is all I need to break through your defenses. Erase all thoughts of his fleeting mortal coil and focus only on the battle before you. Concentrate on me. Concentrate on yourself. Because in this world, none exist except us. Can't keep up with her. It's taking all I have just to fend her off. What's the matter, Van? I've seen you fight opponents with more tenacity than this. That's more like it. His speed and power are extraordinary. Look, he's finally unleashing his inner beast. A beast worthy of the name Devourer of Nightmares. However, it's going to take more than a mere beast to satiate me. Can't keep up with her when I'm relying on my wits and I play right into her hands when I act on instinct. So really nothing I can do? Wait, I got it. I'm both the nightmare and the beast that devours it. What's this? I think some part of me was still trying to hold back. But now I'm ready to come at you with everything I have. The Grendel Sheen. There it is. That's what I was after, the ultimate form hidden inside you. I suppose I'd better respond in kind then. Spirit unification. That looks even more powerful than what we saw in Longley. You've been toying with me this whole time. But whatever, I won't let that stop me. What's every fight with a bitter end, Grendel? You're on, Divine Blade of Silver. System error. Data overload from unknown sources be detected. System processing capacity exceeded. Initiating reboot to restore operating protocols. All users will now be disconnected. What? No, not now! The American Garden eagerly awaits your next visit. Back to reality. We're so close. Just when I finally found new heights to reach. Wanna go again? Nope. Figured I'm not really in the mood anyway. Shame we couldn't finish our duel, but I guess I'm satisfied for now. Can't remember the last time I got to use Akagarasu to its full potential. What's that? Is that the name of your sword or something? Uh-huh. It goes by other names too, but I'm really not supposed to go into that. Its sheath is made from the weapons of many hardened fighters. I bet I could have spruced it up nicely had I got my hands on the Grendel's armor. Probably would have been hard, given that it's made of shards, but heck, knowing you, I'm sure you'd figure out a way to do it. Anyway, I've had a lot of fun. Thanks a bunch, Van. Sheesh, you really are something else. Well, I'm not exactly what you'd call a devoted martial artist, but I definitely feel like I caught a glimpse of something new. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to do this again at some point. Really? Then let's go another... Not now, I said at some point. Excellent work, Princess. Same to you, Arkwright. Oh, where'd you come from? Hey there, looks like you got everything ready for us. Indeed, I just finished setting the table. Enjoy. Well, since we're here already, why don't we have a few drinks while we take in the view? Holy crap, this is delicious. Did that Kuragane guy make all this? He sure did. Isn't he great? He likes to cook when he isn't brushing up on his ninja skills. Although cooking might actually be part of his ninjutsu training. After all, poisoning food is a tried and true means of assassination. And now I lost my appetite. Anyway, I don't hear you talk about ninja stuff all that much, which strikes me as weird considering you're from Ikaruga. This may surprise you to hear, but despite me being a Ikaruga's second in command, and despite learning the Black God One Blade style from my master, I'm not actually shinobi myself. I've played around with some of the practitioners of the Rogetsu school, but that's about it. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. Is that master of yours the one they call the Sword Hermit? That's right, and he just so happens to be an old friend of your master's. He was Ikaruga's former chieftain, the Sword Hermit Yun Kafai. In the West, he's better known as the founder of the Eight Leaves One Blade School. Is that right? So does that mean the Black God style is similar to the Eight Leaves? They're similar in some ways, but not so much in others. The Dark Blade style of a Black God school has 1,000 years of history behind it. 8 Leaf's one blade is more of a modified light blade style that Master himself created using the Black God as a basis. Both aim to guide their practitioners along the path to enlightenment, but the roads we take, the means we use, couldn't be more different. Since I trained under the Master himself, I have a pretty good understanding of how the two styles differ. Oh, I didn't realize there was so much to it. Now let me ask a question of my own. Are you planning to stick with a Conlund school until you master it? Or will you continue to pursue that hollow style of yours? To be honest, I'm not too interested in doing either. I've taken what I learned from them and incorporated it all into my own style. Might have taken a roundabout path, but it worked for me so far. That's a very you answer. That said, the road you're walking is a thorny one. Instead of following any one school of discipline to the end, you're aiming for variety. You're basically scooping up little bits from all over. And while variety is the spice of life, there are limitations to overcome when trying to approach things from a grey perspective. The path you're taking may turn out to be more than you can bear. Well, I can cross that bridge when I get there. Till then, I'm gonna stick to my way of doing things. And that involves helping people through 4 SPGs, like the one you just put out. If the conditions are right, just get out there and do it. I see. That's just the kind of person you are, huh? You're an interesting man, Van. One of these days, I'd like to introduce you to the matron at our chieftain. You'd have to reach the eastern end of the continent, though. No one outside of the Black God and 8 Leaf schools has ever done that. But there's a first for everything. You might be able to pull it off. I assume you get the handle on the Grendel form of yours. Why am I getting bad vibes from this? Don't worry, you spiky little head. You know, I'm never bored when I'm around you. I'm always having all sorts of new experiences, like when we nearly attained new heights a bit ago. I hope you and I can continue being good friends. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Better friends than adversaries. Who said anything about us not being adversaries too? You know, just because you can read my mind doesn't mean you should. After that, the two of them spent a while enjoying the flowers blooming on the trees. And once they were done, they drove back to the city.
We were almost there. Well, there's always next time, I suppose. You're now on the hook for showing me what lies beyond someday. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of each other in the future.
So, what's next on the agenda?
Renne. Yeah, Van split off to take care of a certain request. And that's what led to the bicycle parking incident. We've since changed the way we're directing traffic, so don't expect this to be an issue going forward. Well, I'm glad to hear this matter came to a swift resolution, which was no doubt owed to your prompt response, I'm sure. Thank you for your report. Keep up the good work as always. Of course, oh, and one last thing. I know you're in charge of the festival and all, but I hope you give yourself a break soon. It's long overdue. Hello, Wendbright speaking. Oh my, a direct inquiry from the Institute. Is that in regards to the dissertation I published recently? So they would like me to give a lecture on the design theory behind network traffic for long-distance communication? Understand, I'll check my schedule and get back to you as soon as I can. Have a lovely day. No West for a very student council president, I suppose? No, I shouldn't complain. I'm not the only one who's busy after all. Well then, I think I'll take advantage of this brief respite to chip away at my paperwork. Let's start with the club applications and the paperwork submitted for the new school year. Oh, come in. I wonder if it's so dead this time. It's fine. Ava, sorry to interrupt. You look as busy as ever, Miss President. Ah, good afternoon, Van. This is an unexpected surprise, but not an unwelcome one. To what do you owe this visit? Has something happened? If there's a problem, I make sure it's taken care of right away. Actually, I just came to ask one simple question. Wanna come on a little date with me? My, Van Arkwright. I never took you for a casual flirt. I wonder how Agnes and Elaine would react if I spilled the tea on this little move you're making. Huh? Why are you bringing them up? Anyway, it looks like you've wrapped up all the work you need to for now. You can spare the time, I'm sure. But if you want to play the stubborn card, I just have to drag you out of this office by force. Well, you aren't leaving me much choice in the matter. Not that I'm objecting, of course. Absconding with you might make for a pleasant change of pace. Would you care to escort me? 'Cause... Van that ran out of the rear exit, and the two of them headed out into town in his pickup truck. Ah, so they have new sightseeing guides for Liberal and Crossbell, do they? There's even one for the Empire. Can't imagine I'll be heading out that way anytime soon, but I'd like to someday. There's loads of great desserts you can only find over on the west half of the continent. Well, if you do decide to go out that way, I wouldn't mind showing you around. I can take you on a tour of all the major cities, and I can help you find the places that are off the map. I know all the best restaurants. Careful, I might take you up on that offer. Huh, I never really had you pegged as the type who'd like fishing. Oh yeah, I think you once told me that your older sister was pretty into it. She's a bracer, yeah? That's right, she taught me how to fish before I moved to Calvert. I only do it on occasion, but it's a nice way to pass the time. She and her partner are traveling all over Zemuria in their efforts to achieve A-rank status. She sends me pictures of fish she catches sometimes. Although I do wish she'd spare me the details of her little lover spats. Sounds like the two of you are pretty tight. Holy shit, it's that limited edition cake everyone's been hyped up about. Every time I poke my head in here, it's always sold out. It was even featured in a magazine special on Heavenly Confections. It certainly looks delicious. It would probably go well with a refreshing cup of tea. Wanna give it a try? I know you're only asking because you want to try it for yourself, but very well, we can have some. Hell yeah! Eventually, the pair made their way to the Grand Circuit. After partaking in a leisurely stroll around the racetrack, they did some window shopping and dropped by the beer garden. For their final stop, they decided to ride the Ferris wheel. Oh, we sure packed a lot on one date, huh? Indeed, you have my gratitude, Van. This was exactly the sort of break I needed. Although I can't help but feel this supposed date is missing something. A touch of romance, perhaps? Hey, cut me some slack, I'm already in enough trouble as is for running off with a high school girl. What a pity. Alright, I think it's about time you came clean. About the reason you took me on this date, I mean. It was almost as though you could tell I was in low spirits. I know you did all this from a place of genuine concern, but the timing was just a little too perfect even for you. Tell me, did Estelle, Joshua, and Tita send you a forced PG through the guild? My guess is yes. They were unable to fulfill their promise of coming to today's festival, so this must be their way of making up for that. Well, guess the cat's out of the bag. I already told them they didn't need to come. I didn't want them to feel guilty. They have their hands full with her work at the guild and the ZCF, so I fully understood why they couldn't make the time. I know they are looking forward to it, and that it was out of their hands. I tried to reassure them I was fine, but... no, I suppose they could tell that deep down I miss them. They really are such kind, lovely people. That's why I miss them so. Yeah, that much is clear as day. I mean, they're the ones who found you when when you were still wandering around on your own as Kitty. You've all got a special bond. Indeed we do. They're my pride and joy. Thank you, Van. This really was a nice surprise. Maybe one day I can return the favor to them. It's ironic that the former Kitty could only barely scratch the surface. You didn't think the surprise was over already, did you? Hmm? A new holo system? What is...
Good morning, Ren. You have grown, partner.
Huh? Are you... Is that really you? No, don't say that. It's not true, it's not true, it's not true. Ren. He sustained critical damage to his logic circuit. There's no backup systems for Gordius-class archaisms. It'll be alright, we'll fix you, we'll...
Goodbye. First recorded reactivation since 1204. It is good to see you again, Wen.
Pater Mater.
Did we surprise you? So we couldn't make it to the festival, Wen. I know it doesn't really make up for it, but we've had this gift in works for a super long time. Now that you're coming up on graduation, and since you're soon to be turning 18, we want to do something special to commemorate the occasion. Took a lot of people to make it happen, and we now owe favors to people the world over. But it was all worth it, because we were able to bring back someone who meant the world to you. How's that for a surprise? We hope you like it.
Estelle, Joshua, and even Tita? No, I'm sure you weren't the only ones who did this. That's right, your family and friends weren't my only clients. The Golden Butterfly and the Direwolf were also in on this. Oh, and an unnamed fortune teller and a phantom thief pitched in too. The request was signed by the whole lot of them. Even Jörg, wherever he is, put his name down. It's the same Gordius-class archaism was destroyed during Crossbell's first bid for independence. 5 years ago. They've been working on restoring it in secret, and they asked me to deliver it to you.
Now I can support you once more. It is good to be home, Ren.
Welcome home. Welcome home, Pater Mater. Looks like my work here is done. Oh, that was sweet. Estelle, Joshua, Tita, everyone. I hope you realize just how unfair this is. You keep all this from me and even roped Jörg and Luciola into it? Your best friend's the one who got the ball rolling. She took an interest in holocores while researching the Cypher standard. Then, when the idea popped into her head, she and your family set to work on it. They had to get in contact with Ouroboros and Jörg, so that they could restore Pater Mater as a holocore. It turns out news travels fast in the society. Once the word hit, it spread like wildfire. They all gathered the data from when Pater Mater was destroyed, along with any scrap of archive info from the 13 factories. Using that as a base, they were able to assemble a logic unit that was as close to the original as you could get. Then they recreated it. Having said that, it's still just a prototype. They'll be making some improvements in the future. They got past all kinds of organizational international barriers to make it happen. It's a miracle in the truest sense of the word. This is all thanks to the connections you've made along the way. They all came together and made it a reality. You're right, and don't forget you played a part in all this too, Van. You speak as though you had next to no involvement, but that's simply not true. After all, you're one who lives in that space between light and dark, allowing you to be connected to and trusted by those of both sides. I mean, I guess. Anyway, hopefully this helps you realize just how many people you have in your corner. Yes, I feel like this experience has really driven that point home for me. You've really outdone yourself this time, Van. Nah, all that was handled one little request. But I will say, just because you can do anything doesn't mean you should try to do everything. If you need help, I'm just a phone call away, and you can always shoot me a 4SPG whenever you like. I do whatever I can for you. Oh, you really are impossible. You just won't play fair, will you? I feel like I'll never be able to repay all you've done for me. No, one day I'll find a way. After that, Van and Renne got off the Ferris wheel and made their way back to Armis Academy, enjoying the drive along the way.
Thank you for bringing Potter Mater back to me. I do hope you realize I will not stand to let this debt go unpaid. Prepare yourself, because one day I will show you just how grateful I really am.
Pater Mater holocore obtained. Probably Renne exclusive, right? At least I would assume so.
Shifting to maintenance mode.
It's not in here. As I said, probably Renne exclusive. Pater Mater. Holocore powered by a Pater Mater AI. Greatly enhances both offensive and defensive abilities. Crit rate and defense, and
Potter Mater, ready to assist.
alright. When there's something new to learn. Good. One thing I wanted to test is... Now we're in the Orbor district. Now I'm the Cathedral.
Then let's head over.
I hope there doesn't come a cutscene or a big one at least. Because a wedding happened.
All right. Sure. Okay.
Let us pray.
Wondering the others have headed to the after party already. They want me to join them, but I figured the youngsters should at least get some time to themselves, you know. That being said, it was a good wedding. What a novel wedding. The surprise was quite remarkable as well. I'm sure it got Roderick's parents smiling down at him. Thanks again, Miss A-Rank. You too, Spriggan. It was no problem. Yes, I'm just glad the ceremony was completed without incident. It was quite a surprise, but I can't say it was completely unexpected. Anyway, I'm glad the ceremony finished without issue. I would have hated to see such a gorgeous atmosphere ruined. Now, Taylor and his wife can be at peace under the goddess. Give my thanks, Miss Elaine. Van Arkwright.
Oh, the cathedral is magnificent.
A wedding at a school festival. Today is going to be magnificent. May both the couple and the students be blessed with happiness.
Oh, adios.
Good. Then I think I
Planner launched.
would end this episode. Reload. Look at what kind of at what connection events I keep, and yeah. Next time we probably
Oh my.
see where it leads us. What's with all the commotion? Sounds like it's coming from the front gate. Did something happen? We should go check it out. Something tells me this will be a real pain. Good, but we look into what is happening next time. Until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.